took its toll, and we cracked the block. Hey guys, I'm Matt. Mitch is behind the camera. This is our shop dyno alley, and this is my broken Lamborghini engine. So, here she is, my 2008 Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera, the biggest money pit in my life. I swear this thing breaks more than the ice cream machine at McDonald's. So let's give you guys a recap of when I bought the car, what I've done to the car, and why it's broken right now. So I bought the car in 2016 from Atlanta Lamborghini. It had one owner, 4,000 miles on it, completely stock. It was beautiful. I kept it like that for all of 3 days, and then I straight piped it. It was obnoxiously loud. I ran it like that for about a year or so, and then like any other car guy, you know, you want a little more horsepower. Put a turbo on it.
Flames. Yes.
And then I wanted a little more power. I'm a power baby! Pulled the engine out of the car, threw some rods and pistons in the block, made a little more power. By this time, the car's making some pretty decent power, like around 1,000 wheel or so. Naturally, I started breaking transmissions. Then I had the trans built out in Las Vegas at a shop called Bill Rader Motorsports. And then after that, the car ran real good, real tough. So I wanted a little more power.
I get a more power, baby!
I was out of turbochargers, so I had to get a bigger turbocharger, and she ran real well. See, the problem with it running really good is at this point, I got pretty comfortable with beating the hell out of the car. I have this rolling anti-lag feature on there. I hold the button, the car builds a bunch of boost while I'm rolling, and then I let go of the button, and the car launches mid-roll. It's pretty aggressive. It puts a big strain on the engine block and on all the components, the turbocharger, everything. It took its toll, and we cracked the block.
All right, so it's these two mains. This one here, you can see it kind of going all the way down there, and it goes up the top there. It actually is cracked on the outside here, and it follows this Sharpie line down all the way there. And then this main as well, it's got a crack. You can see it right there. It goes
they
all
ask
the
you
way
how you
up.
are, you just have to say that you're fine, and you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Cracking an engine block, no matter what car it is some pretty serious business. Whether it's a Corvette, a Lamborghini, 350Z, whatever it is. The problem with this thing is they only used this engine block from 2004 to 2008 in the Gallardos. 2009 plus, they got a 5.2 liter V10. They later used in the Huracans and R8s and whatnot. This engine's a little special to this model, which is cool. It sounds great. That's why I love it. But it's a pain in the ass to find parts for it, or a donor block per se for me. Now, it doesn't mean I can't find one out there. It's just what's available are out of totaled cars. They'll have 30 or 40,000 miles on them. They're complete long blocks with the heads and intake manifold on them, which I don't need. And they cost about $25,000 or $30,000.
Damn.
Which I don't have to spend on this car. I'm tapped out on this thing. So that led me to kind of look for different avenues of what I could do to fix this cracked block that I had. So I started to search around on the internet. Maybe I'd get lucky and find somebody who could repair a cast aluminum block that was, performance oriented. And I did. I found a gentleman in upstate New York by the name of Scott. And what he does is repair cast aluminum and billet aluminum performance engine blocks. He had quite the resume. He did a couple NHRA big billet blocks, a couple performance cast aluminum blocks. He even repaired a McLaren F1 engine. So I felt he was suitable for the job. I sent him some videos of the cracks on my block. He said he was pretty sure he could repair them. So I sent the block off to him.
Hi, Matthew. I had to redo the front here. I cleaned this up. This is it's a fairly difficult setup. I had to make special blocks to hold, to
Today, Junior.
block squarely. I had to clip this surface in part because it was bent in this area. Dowel holes are fixed. This oil hole is fixed or drilled. I've cleaned up the welds there.
So fast forward a couple months later, get the block back from Scott. He's repaired the cracks. I have a buddy that assembles the engine for me normally, gaps the rings, measures for bearings, etc. He came over to the shop here. He assembled the engine for me, and I was ready to put the engine back in the car. So I did. I dropped it in there. And I had a problem. So here's where I'm at now. Why? Well, the short answer is I'm kind of an idiot, but I'll explain to you guys what happened. So the car runs on a standalone ECU. I use a laptop to control a lot of the features on it. I had some old ethanol I needed to get out of the fuel tanks before I ran the car this season. So I take the return line off of my fuel regulator, I put it into a barrel, I turn the fuel pumps on with my laptop, drains all the fuel out. When I did this time, I accidentally turned on 2 of the fuel injectors on the passenger bank of this engine. And essentially I filled the entire passenger bank with ethanol. So why is this a problem? Well, when ethanol comes in contact with engine oil, it breaks it down pretty quick. It turns from a nice thick viscous substance to a thin watery-like substance. When you build an engine, the piston rings are lubricated with engine oil. It helps create a seal inside the cylinder wall, and it helps the piston slide up and down in there without scoring the walls. So when I got ethanol inside there, I was nervous that I had washed out all the engine oil out of the piston rings, and then I would score these cylinder walls, firing the motor up again. So I felt the smartest move would be take the engine out, break it down, throw some new piston rings on there, and we'll be good to go for another season. Couldn't get down to one of the head stud nuts on the driver's side head, so I gotta modify my socket a little bit. Let's see if it fits. Got a little shot buddy, check him out. Oh, there he goes. Get out of here. Timing chain system on the front of these engines is pretty intimidating, but I'll go through it if you guys are curious. So you got your crankshaft here. Crankshaft runs 2 chains behind the timing cover. This rear chain runs up to these 2 larger gears. I call these like an idler gear. They don't really spin anything, but I don't know the technical name for them. Off of this smaller sprocket on the front, we get another chain that runs up to each head unit and runs each cam. And then now you got your front chain off the crank, which is your accessory chain. This one isn't really too integral in terms of timing, but this chain runs around this large shoe to this lower gear. And behind this gear, it spins a few other ones that are attached to the back side of this plate. If you come around to this side of the engine, you got some shafts coming out here. This lower one controls your oil pump that bolts up here. It's a dry sump motor. And on the outboard side of the oil pump, there's another shaft that runs up and controls your water pump that bolts up here. Now this one here runs a long shaft that controls your AC condenser that bolts up to here. And then on this side, your power steering pump bolts up to this for power steering. So this engine is essentially accessory drive-less with a belt and pulleys. The only thing that spins off of this side of the crank pulley is your alternator that sits down here. It's a pretty cool design. Definitely rather intimidating though if you've never looked at it before. So that'll about wrap up the video for today, guys. Tune in next time. We'll be gapping some piston rings and getting this Lamborghini engine back together so I can throw it back in the car. If you still stuck around this far, me and Mitch greatly appreciate it. We would love it if you guys could subscribe to the channel and click the thumbs up in this video to give us a like. It would really help us. And if you really like the content, click the little notification bell and turn notifications on so you get a notification every time we post a new video. And drop a comment below. Let me know what you felt of the video. If I should be more technical next time, talk about the parts a little more in depth, or what you guys like to see. Any feedbacks is appreciated. But for now, that's all. Thanks for watching Dyno Alley.